In life, there's a certain level that goes beyond the surface and the superficial and asks the question, why? Why are things set up the way they are? Why do things work the way they do? What are the motivations and power structures and hierarchies behind reality as we know it? And in American soccer, there is a new generation or movement that's rising up that's starting to ask these same questions about the American soccer environment or ecosystem as a whole. This is a movement that wants excellence for American soccer, for our clubs, for our national team, for the soccer industry as a whole, and for our player development. So, in order to make true progress or to achieve massive change, you have to drill beyond the superficial symptoms or issues. You need to understand the fundamental motivators or incentives behind the current setup in American soccer. And you see the symptoms in American soccer of, well, our players just aren't quite good enough. They just don't quite make the grade of the global standard, the ones that are playing regularly for the major clubs around the world or in Europe. We're consistently producing players that fall below standard, that are pretty good for here in America, but in the global market, they really are nobodies and aren't worth much. And the same can be said for our national team and our club teams. They just fall short of the global standard or even regional standard in some cases. And so we're consistently not making the grade. And general consensus is here in America now, in the past 5-10 years especially, that we finally have all the tools we need to be a great soccer nation. We've got the wealth, the infrastructure, we've got the internet, television, travel abilities. We have sheer number of players, 25 million players, huge population of 330 million people. So general consensus is that we have all the ingredients here in this melting pot to be a great world soccer nation. But what is stopping us? And you look at the example of, our players just aren't good enough. Well, do we blame the players for not putting in enough work? Do we need to call on our young players to conjure up this passion to go out and train and commit themselves to becoming world-class players? But if you look beyond that superficial, what are the fundamental motivators in our system for young players to really push themselves to the global standard and to put in the work that's required to reach that global standard? Do we have a professional game that's really something that's worth striving for? If you look at our current U.S. Soccer Division I, MLS, really the pay is for a first or second year player in the late teens, early 20s, you're making less than $100,000 a year, and that's really nothing compared to even just normal, like being an accountant or a manager of a store. So the motivators aren't really there, and also the pressure of our club soccer system just isn't there. It's not the same as the rest of the world, where every single training session, every single match, every minute matters. And you see, as Americans go abroad in their teenage years, it's funny how they turn out to be such strong players, both tactically, mentally, and in every facet of the game, needed to be a top quality player in the global market. They are showing great signs of progress once they leave America and go into these, I call them authentic ecosystems. And it all goes back to this one root difference between America and the rest of the world, which is our closed USA soccer market. So when you have a closed market, you cut off competition. So here in America, 99% of potential competition is excluded from the industry. And so it's no surprise that the the one privileged club, MLS in Division One, there's not much incentive for them to really push the boundaries and to innovate, because they're safe. They'll be back again next year, or their individual franchise outlets within MLS. They are not being pressured from below to up their standard, and they can say that, oh, we want to do that, but it's not the same when you're not actually facing legit pressure, where your existence as a company is actually on the line. That's what happens in open club soccer and promotional relegation. You are literally playing for your club's existence and survival. So again, you open up the competition scope from one club to 9,000 plus USA Soccer clubs. You multiply the pressure by 9,000 there immediately overnight with that one declaration of an open market. And then you start to see that environment seen around the world, where every day is pressure. Kids have that, there's that incentive to really push themselves towards the upper echelons of the game, to dedicate themselves to the game, to put in the training required to reach the upper standards of the American game. So it all goes back to this one root cause of, if you drill beyond just, I wish our kids would play more pickup ball, or I wish our kids would just go outside and kick the ball against the wall more. Yeah, that's true, but you got to look at the bigger picture. What's beneath the surface? What's really stopping us? What's that one? Just compare and contrast. Really, it's as simple as that. What is the one thing missing in America that the rest of the world has? And the only thing that is different is the closed market versus open market, promotion relegation versus no promotion relegation. We have everything we need here. We've got stadiums, we've got the wealth. We have Americans willing to invest in promotion relegation soccer around the world. They're investing in clubs overseas. So the idea that there isn't money in the game here, or we've got, like I mentioned earlier, 25 million players, way more fans than that probably. So we've got everything that's required to be a real legit soccer environment. We just need that one U.S. soccer policy to allow it. So it's all down to our federation. Let's demand it. It's up to them. They can make that change tomorrow. So keep putting the pressure on, and together we can make this change happen. So if you like this video, make sure to share it out on social media, and also subscribe right here to my YouTube channel, and I'll talk to you soon.